Alrighty, so we talked a lot about the different foods and drinks that we may have. And we did say, sometimes there's some sad foods that we will eat every so often, but we have to find a way to take care of them, right? Well, a big part of that is about taking care of our teeth, and that means that we're going to be talking about doing brushing and flossing. So I have my friend Leo here. He's going to kind of help me show you guys how I'd recommend that we want to brush and floss. Now, the first question I ask you is, how many times a day should we at least brush our teeth? You guys know? Is it 1? Is it 5? 2? 3? Well, we say at least 2 times a day. We like you to brush before you go to any sort of school in the morning, and we like you to brush as the last thing you do before you go to bed. Do you guys know how long you should be brushing for? If you said 2 minutes, you're right. It normally takes about a good 2 minutes to get around all parts of the mouth, all over the places, okay? And how many times should you floss a day? So at least once a day. Sometimes you have to floss more. Remember, what do we use floss for? It's that string that we go in between our teeth to get food that can get stuck in there. So at least do it 1 time a day. I like it at nighttime. But if you feel like you're getting something stuck earlier in the day, it's okay to do a second time or more if you need to. Now, when we use our toothbrush, we should always try and use a toothbrush that's the right size for us. So your toothbrush might look different than your mom or dad's toothbrush. On your toothbrush, if you have a younger sibling or an older brother or sister, it might look a little bit different too, because it has to be a brush that fits your mouth. So with Leo's toothbrush over here, this is made for a lion. So don't try putting this toothbrush in your mouth, okay? But now the other question I have is, when we use our toothbrush, don't we put something on top of it? You guys know what that's called? It's called toothpaste. So we like toothpaste that has a special vitamin called fluoride in it, but you don't have to use a whole lot of it. So really, I have 2 pictures I wanted to show you just to kind of give you a reference. If you're really still a very young kiddo and you're under 3 years of age, we think that really you want to do about maybe a size of a grain of rice of toothpaste onto your toothbrush, okay? Maybe 2 grains at most. And that's something that you can take in there, and if mom and dad help you, they can push it in there so you don't have to eat too much of it, okay? As you get a little bit older, and up to around 6, 7 years old, you can take basically the size of like a pea of toothpaste. And sometimes when you're a little bit older than that, if you need more, you can add a little bit. But this generally is enough for most, even your adult patients too. Now, as we get older and be grown-ups. Okay, so I'm gonna, for this sake, we're gonna imagine that we have toothpaste on here. I'm gonna lay back Leo, and we're gonna show you how we would brush his teeth. So he's really opening nice and wide for me, which is really cool. But there's important parts. If we look at our teeth and all dimensions, there's different areas. We have the front of our teeth, we have the parts at the top of our teeth that we chew with, and don't forget there's the inside of our teeth too. So it's important to spend special attention to all of them. And do you guys know what the pink part is called around the teeth? Those are called the gums. So those have to also get special care when we're brushing. So if we're going to focus on starting with the brushing with the front teeth and on the top ones, I always take my toothbrush, I hold it a little bit at an angle. So I don't come straight on like this. I will curve it just a little bit like this. So that way I'm basically able to get the long end of my toothbrush bristles, and they can go in nice sweeping circular motions. If you can see there, the bristles are actually going in that circular motion, are massaging all the way along the gums and the teeth. So that way I don't get any sort of leftover stuff stuck in there. I do a really thorough job trying to get all the way back there, all the way along these teeth, okay? And sometimes I change my position so I can make sure I get the right grasp on that. And remember, I'm spending about a whole 2 minutes on the whole mouth. So normally I'm spending about a minute on top and then a minute on the bottom, okay? And then, of course, I'm going to make sure I'm coming with the same angle. I flip it around, and I come from the inside. I'm also coming at an angle, so I can do the inside of all the teeth. Nice, slow, circular motions, nice small circles, and I'm able to brush away any food that gets stuck in there on those teeth. Same thing over here. Okay, and this also massages the gums while I'm at it. And then when I'm finished with the front and the back, I come and do all the tops of the teeth. The top is where we have all those little grooves that help us to break down and chew all of our food really well. And sometimes food gets stuck in there. So I'm still doing nice circular motions, but this way I'm brushing away. And then I'll do the same thing when I come down to the bottom. I may change my position of my toothbrush, but I'm always coming with the same angle. Nice slow circular motions, nice small circles all around. Sweep, 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 sweep. I'm still holding my brush as I turn the corner of the mouse, because sometimes we don't want to do this, then lift up, come back, and then we miss the whole tooth over there. So I'm always trying to make a continuous motion, and if I am changing my position, I still come back to the tooth that I missed. And I get all the way back to the back of our teeth. Mr. Leo has 32 teeth because he's a grown-up already, and for his lying teeth. So he has to be really extra careful in brushing all the way back there. I'm going to do the insides again, the insides, and all around, top, 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 top. And then at the very end, I don't like to brush the tongue. Nice sweep, 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 sweep. And then we always spit out our toothpaste, and then we are good to go. Now, the other thing we talked about is I'm brushing all around the teeth, but there's one part of the tooth that we haven't talked about yet. We talked about the top, we talked about the front and the back, but we didn't talk about the in-between. So that's where our friends like dental floss comes into place. Dental floss comes in a lot of different ways. We have the ones that are like the string, and we have ones that can be little handles, little floss picks. They both work pretty well as long as you're using them correctly. So I'm going to show you how I would do it with the floss and the regular string. You can grab any two of your fingers, however you prefer, just do a little single wrap, and then I can use this to use my thumbs to help guide how I'm going to position it, or anything with my finger. I always go in between the teeth, and then you hear a little snap. So it means I'm getting between the teeth, and I'm going all the way down just so I touch the gum. Then I'm going to give a little C-shape folds. I'm going to give it like a hug. I'm going to go back and forth and come back up. And then I come back in, I got to do the other side too. Back and forth, up, up. And I hear the snap every time. That's okay. Now sometimes if our gums and our in-between teeth we haven't done this in a while, it might get a little bit icky looking. It might see something that looks weird, but it's okay. If you do it more and more, you'll see less and less of that. And that means your gums will be happier and your teeth will be happier as we go around, okay? And again, I'm gonna do my best to hug all around these chairs, and I'm lifting up any sort of food here. It looks like Mr. Leo's doing pretty good. I don't see anything that looks like it's getting stuck there. Okay. Now, if you think using the two fingers is too difficult, and sometimes, are you having someone help you out? Sometimes using a little flosser can be a little easier too. So with this, basically what we'll do is you find a good gripping point. You're gonna come in between the tooth. You can do the same effect. And I'm still using it to bend. I'm coming past it, going all the way down, up, coming to the other side. Now I'm flipping my up. Same thing over here and over there. I'll start up on top, for example. He's got bigger teeth over here, but that's okay. We can still get in there. And this is actually a small child's flosser, but it'll work. So you can get bigger adult size ones too when you get to be older too. And you go in between all the time. And you want to do this at least once a day and make sure you get all the way back to all of your teeth in there. Okay, it may take a little bit longer than you think, but if you get used to it, it takes about 30 seconds to a minute. And we like you doing this at nighttime. You can do this before you brush. If you want to get this in between stuff stuck out there, and then you can get it brushed to get that nice minty feel at the very end. All right, so those are some awesome things that we like to do to take care of our teeth. And it will help to make sure that no sad foods can get in there to cause any sort of sugar bugs.